Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Body and Soul Expo podcast, your go-to source for holistic health and wellness. I'm your host, Bruce Starr. Mark your calendars and join us on Sunday, October 26, 2025, at the beautiful Palm Beach Gardens Marriott, because it's going to be an absolutely incredible event, a truly transformational day you won't want to miss. It's been amazing to see the response. We sold out over 70 vendor spaces in less than a couple of months. Many of these vendors are also incredible speakers ready to share their insights on both innovative and classic healing practices. You're just going to have to be there to discover it all. This expo is a culmination of our combined experience, Lauren's 3 decades in health and wellness and owning spas, and my tagging along with her during those years, plus my 4 decades in the entertainment world, from being a talent agent in Hollywood to my work on TV, podcasts, and now back on the radio on Legends 100.3 FM on Saturday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. To stay up to date with all the announcements, follow the Body and Soul Expo page on Facebook. And for a full breakdown of everything we have in store for you, you'll be able to visit the Body and Soul Expo.org website and see all the amazing activities and everything that will be going on there. On today's show, we're diving back into the lineup, highlighting amazing talents, experiences, and knowledge of the wonderful vendors who will be with us at the Expo. Our guest today is Paige Jack, an anti-aging and longevity guru with more than 20 years of pharmaceutical and medical sales. She's built multiple wellness and tech ventures, including her latest focus on natural peptides and AI-powered business systems. Paige helps professionals, especially medical and pharma reps, pivot into wellness, entrepreneurship, and create real freedom without sacrificing credibility. Beyond her work, she's a passionate biohacker, a tennis player, and boating enthusiast who is on a mission to prove you can design a life you don't need a vacation from. Paige, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, Paige, very interesting background. But how did someone become Paige? What was your childhood like? Where did you grow up?
Well, I was an Air Force brat. Now I'm just a brat, as I say. But I grew up all over the country, and we started out in Biloxi, Mississippi, and California, and Hawaii, and all kinds of great places growing up in that. And I think that made me a really outgoing person. I think that made me go into an environment where I don't know people and really befriend them. So that has served me very, very well in my career and helping others.
Okay, very good. And so I love the way you kind of pivoted in doing what you're doing. Can you tell me how that all came about? And because there's always like an aha moment when we realize that what we're doing, not so much what we can be doing in the future.
Right. Well, thank you for asking. So back in 2009, a lot in my industry, I was in the pharmaceutical industry, and a lot of that industry really shifted. And so there was some downsizing in the industry. And literally 2 days after a massive layoff here in South Florida, I learned about some really unique and disruptive technology. So I said to myself, well, I have a lot of doctor relationships I could bring this to, and other medical pharmaceutical reps that kind of are thinking like me. And this can't be all there is, because we had an amazing skill set and relationships that I thought we could now leverage to teach others how to live better longer. And so I learned about natural ingredients, natural products. And over the course of the last 15 years, I've educated physicians on the benefits of some of these more natural products. And over the course of the last 15 years as well, there isn't one not one pharmaceutical rep that I've spoken to that says, I really want to be on synthetic products. I really want to take drugs, you know? So that started the pivot. And then I
So,
started getting educated on it.
so what would you say is some of the most important products right now? Because longevity is such an important thing right now. People want to, they don't want to just live longer, but they want to live healthy and have well-being in their life. Because what good is it if you're living longer and you're sickly?
Yeah. So I think COVID was a big transition for a lot of people. I think for once, people started taking their own health into their own hands because they didn't want to, get sick. So for once, they started reaching out and starting trying to figure out what they could do themselves to not get sick. And there was a real shift there, I noticed. And so I would say that's what kind of started the shift. But people at our age and stage really want to live well as long in life as they possibly can because sickness is just not good.
You know, when you're having things are going well, you feel good, and you're having a good time, and maybe going out to dinner or going out to a show, and all of a sudden you don't feel good, something is bothering you, everything shifts, everything changes. Tell me what is in store for people when they come to your space and they meet you. What will you be offering them? Some people are giving things away. Some people are selling sessions or whatever it is. It doesn't matter to us. What will you be offering when people pass by your booth?
Well, just recently, I learned about the power of peptides. Before, the second quarter of this year, I really didn't know much about peptides at all. I didn't know insulin was a peptide. I didn't know all these GLP-1s that are on the market are peptides. I didn't know, you know, what peptides really were. But my simplest explanation of that in layman's terms is peptides are like little messengers that tell your DNA what to do. And thanks to AI, now we can tell our bodies to stop eating. You're full now. Calm down. You're too stressed out. That's a peptide. So there are now these bioactive precision peptides that are all natural. They're not synthetic. They're oral. They're not injectable, and they're very affordable. And so the market is really ready for these natural bioactive precision peptides. So when I learned about this conference, I was really excited to bring that education to the people that are going to be, at that conference that are more on the holistic side, that like to really to put good things into their body and not just injecting needles.
How are you finding when you bring your message to people of natural health and well-being to people that really have no idea about it, who are invested in an older, outdated, more system of life and living? How are you finding your message in trying to reach them?
Well, it's funny. That really is a great question because believe it or not, there was a drug rep who said to me, I don't think I could sell something that's not FDA approved. And I was just like, you're kidding me, how sad I was for that person. But there is really been this nice transition of people that really are seeking types of physicians that do integrative medicine, integrative wellness. And, medicine takes a while to come around. In fact, the woman that invented these peptides, she did a TED talk on them 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And thanks to AI, now products that come to the market, if we wanted to make a product, we would just put into AI, we want to make a product that does X, Y, or Z. Well, out gives us what we need to do or what we need to find. And we've got to raise capital and all those kinds of things, bring it to market, make sure it tastes good, do some studies. So AI has really shifted things as well as, people are coming around more and more so than before. It's going to take some a little longer and, some may never, but I think it's definitely turning.
Decades in the past, if the FDA did not give their approval to something, it was like, not good. But I think they've lost a lot of respect and a trust from the public in the last several years.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So when you're speaking at the event, uh, and everybody will get a chance to speak at the event. Have you thought about what your presentation will be like?
I just really want to educate people on synthetic versus natural ingredients in products, as well as, a whole really presentation on peptides, what they are, why we're just hearing so much about them now. Because at every biohacking conference and every A4M, every AMMG that doctors are at, all they're talking about is peptides, but they're really talking about synthetic injectable peptides. And with the class action lawsuits now that are all over the news with some of these GLP-1s, their patients are going to be actively going to them for more natural options. And I think the people that are going to be at our conference need to be educated on that.
To tell us a little bit more about the non-shot peptides and how is that administered? How often do you have to take it? Is it a daily thing? Is it a multi times a day thing? How does that all work?
So we have ingredients or products that are oral. So some of them are powders you put into a drink. Some of them are sublingual, so you put them under your tongue, a powder, let's just say. Some of them are capsules, but they are all natural ingredients that come from Mother Nature. And they've just been combined and they've, been studied in a lab, and we've done double-blind super-controlled trials on them. So they're all, just because it's natural and not synthetic doesn't mean it hasn't been studied. It hasn't been, it's not safe, those kinds of things.
It's just amazing the progress that's been made in our health and well-being land. I don't know if we did an expo like this 5 or 10 years ago, I don't know who would have been there. But at this expo, there's no hospitals there. There's no medical doctors. And this expo is going to, when people go, I think their heads are going to spin because every booth, there'll be an incredible expert in their fields about how to get or stay healthy. And imagine having 70 booths or even more booths and spaces, tables of just incredibly experts, incredible experts at what they do. And, I've been to some expos where I just kind of walked through it in like 15 minutes and said, what do I do now? Well, at this expo, I think people are going to be at each booth for 10, 15 minutes, and they've got 69 more to go by the time they get to the first booth. So I'm really glad you're going to be there with us. Any last words before we go?
I would just say, the timing could not be better for this. The market is ready for it. And in our area, especially, there are a lot of people that really understand and believe that health is really wealth. And so I'm excited for it too. And like you say, I think the market is finally here and they're ready for it. And everybody that's going to be at these, all the people that are at the booths are really, really experts in their field, especially in our area here. So I'm excited.
Excellent. Thank you, Paige. You're watching the Body and Soul Expo podcast with Paige Jack. Great to have you, and we can't wait to see you at the event on the 26th of October. Now it's just like right around the corner.
It is.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.